You will know that things in the United States are changing at an extraordinary velocity. 1 month into the Trump administration, America is barely recognizable as the president and Elon Musk, his unelected, entirely unaccountable and de facto prime minister, engage in a wholesale revolution here. State capture of America's government is underway as Mr. Musk boosts his own bottom line by firing the regulators who oversee many of his own businesses, and the president engages of political purges of senior figures who have shown neither loyalty nor fealty to him. Last night, a purge at the Pentagon. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff fired. The head of the Navy fired. The vice chief of the Air Force fired, along with 3 other top officials, all of them targeted because they were considered too woke and had not demonstrated proven support of the president's Make America Great Again agenda. Just to give you a sense of the rhetoric here, take a listen to what Kash Patel had to say yesterday. As of last night, he is the new director of the FBI, a man who has himself drawn up an enemies list of public figures who have failed to show loyalty to Trump, men and women that he has insisted he will pursue.
Anyone that wishes to do harm to our way of life and our citizens here or abroad will face the full wrath of the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And if you seek to hide in any corner of this country or any corner of this planet, we will put on the world's largest manhunt and we will find you. And we will decide your end state, not you.
He now sits in the office where J. Edgar Hoover unleashed a reign of terror for 48 years. Mr. Patel already giving some on his enemies list reason to wonder whether they are safe remaining in the United States. The Trump administration's mass deportations are not proceeding rapidly enough for the president. One official accused of dragging his feet was fired yesterday. The mass firings of civil servants, now considered the enemies of the people by the Trump White House, continues apace. Thousands gone at the Federal Aviation Administration, the National Labor Relations Board, the IRS, America's equivalent of HMRC, and also now at FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency.
This is the chainsaw for bureaucracy. Chainsaw!
Architect of the purges, Elon Musk, prancing around on a stage at CPAC, the Conservative Political Action Conference, on Thursday. He was brandishing that chainsaw, boasting of the trauma, misery and economic catastrophe that he has unleashed on hundreds of thousands of civil service families here since the creation of his Department of Government Efficiency, which of course is not really a government department at all. And that is all before we get to Donald Trump's week-long U-turn of American government policy on Ukraine.
Today I heard, we weren't invited. Well, you've been there for 3 years. You should have ended it 3 years. You should have never started it. You could have made a deal.
Trump on Tuesday pulling America's rug out from beneath President Volodymyr Zelenskyy, claiming Ukraine started the war that obviously Russia started, parroting Vladimir Putin's talking points about Zelenskyy being a dictator, questioning his legitimacy in power and insisting that if he wants a seat at any peace talks, then war-torn Ukraine, still coming under Russian bombardment daily, needs to hold an election first.
When they want a seat at the table, you could say the people have to... Wouldn't the people of Ukraine have to say, it's been a long time since we've had an election? That's not a Russia thing. That's something coming from me and coming from many other countries also.
Of course, it is not coming from many other countries also. It is only coming from Moscow and now America, ending a 30-year partnership between Washington and Kyiv. All of that coming on the back of Vice President J.D. Vance's excoriation of European leaders at the Munich Security Conference 8 days ago, accusing Europe of backsliding on democracy and free speech. Astonishing that the Vice President himself cannot even publicly say that Joe Biden was legitimately elected in 2020, and that the administration in which he serves now bars the Associated Press from White House events because the news agency won't call the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. On Thursday, the Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, will, I think rather gamely, walk into the Oval Office and presumably try to make some headway, any headway, with President Trump. This hour, we're going to talk about what the Prime Minister should say to the American President. It will be the most consequential meeting between any leader in number 10 and a sitting US President since 1945. And the PM and his team need to be ready for more surprises. It's only Saturday. Who knows where things in Washington will lie by the time Thursday dawns? What do you want the Prime Minister to tell Donald Trump? Is there anything that you think he can say to bring America back down to earth? Or should he just now recognise that Washington may no longer be an ally and may soon be, if it's not already, an adversary of the UK and its European allies?